So I wanted to make a very brief video just to help people get started on the final. This video will not show you how to become a programmer or any useful information unless you're in my class. If you followed along and tried your best this year and kept doing your lessons, that class credit is a significantly larger portion of your grade than the actual test grade. So it is my hope that with this test I'll be able to know whether or not students can do all of these things right here. But also by focusing on just two main elements, I want the students to enjoy themselves. So I'm just going to show you how to do some basic things, and hopefully you really get into it, really get into this design process right here, if nothing else. And it's totally okay not to feel very confident with programming. I mean, people who have been programming for years and years still feel shaky about it. There's even a term in the industry called an imposter syndrome. So people can feel so shaky and they get this job and they're not very confident with their coding skills. This is okay. I like to say self-control is much more important than self-esteem. A lot of great people in history did not have very high self-esteem. Abraham Lincoln's my favorite example. So try to put those feelings aside and just get some work done. And thus right there you're proving self-control because you can control those emotions and get a job done, regardless about your emotions of the job. So here's the job. You have to record a video or you will get 0 points for the project. I cannot walk around and look over everyone's shoulder and watch them play an app. So no video, no points. But the video has tons of points. So if you get the video done and you get 100 lines of code done, you will be just fine in class. Unless you spent 5 months avoiding work, and then of course you're going to struggle on the test. And of course, if you don't know how to do some of these other things, that's going to be okay. But if you're pushing yourself and you're trying to get that A, and you forgot how to create a function or a variable, all you have to do is go on YouTube and type in Mr. Houghton and function. And then the video on how to do that will be there. Same with Mr. Houghton and variable and algorithm and so on. Not to mention there are a lot of students in class who are very good at this. And this is an open book final. You can use each other. You can use the internet. This is the type of an environment you would work in if you became a professional programmer or a web designer or web developer. So this is the type of environment I want to give you for your final. First of all, the most common question I've been getting is, how do I save it? Well, once you open this up, and I should probably show you how to get that screen. If you just Google App Lab, the first link, even if you misspell it like I did, the first link will be where you need to be. And a lot of you will have a button here that says continue lesson. That's because you've been doing a lot of partial lessons on here. But we just want the full-blown App Lab environment so you can create an app of your own. So you see right there, all I did was click try, and this popped up. So from there you can click right here, rename, and type this whatever you want. I'm going to demonstrate an MLS/Liga MX soccer app because that's something I'm interested in. So with this final, you can choose whatever you would like. I really want you to choose something you care about or you're passionate about. That way you could really enjoy this final project. So from here, the cursor's blinking. Again, the most intimidating part of the entire task. Once we get something dropped in, though, you'll feel a lot better about yourself. So just take this very first thing, this on event. This is an event handler, and drop it in there. And you can use text or block, and you can go back and forth. I highly suggest you give the text a try because eventually you're going to be copying and pasting because you're going to pick up on a pattern here. For those who are just trying to pass, the minimum you'd have to do is get to 100 lines of code. And for those out there who are not a part of this web design class, I know that is a bad thing to say. I know you're not supposed to judge people based on the number of lines of code they write. In fact, it might be the opposite. The less lines, the better. But as an introduction course in high school, I figure this would be a good minimum to ask of students. So minimum of 100 lines, and then you have to record your app working, and I'm going to show you how to do that with Screencast-O-Matic here. We'll get to that in a minute. But if you could do those two things, get to 100 lines and record your app working, then you should be fine. But of course, I want everyone to go as far as they possibly can. So right there, I just dropped some code in. Now let's forget about the code for a while, and we're going to click design here. Once you get going, you're going to be clicking code and design, code and design. You're going to be jumping back and forth. And if you really find yourself in a bind, you can go over here to version history and load up a version of your program from certain time periods before. So here's screen 1, and I'm going to create an app where I have multiple screens because it makes creating an app much easier, especially in my example. My example, what I'm thinking is I want to create this soccer app where, given a picture, a person can click a button that is the right answer, and then they could just go through the app by looking at different images of soccer-related stuff. And then given a binary choice between two team names, they select the correct team. So once you have all your screens, I'm going to jump back to screen 1, and I'll keep it named screen 1. But this name right here, the ID, is very important. And on every screen, you can change it to like whatever color you want. And those of you who are really into design and color, you're just going to do a much better job than I. I'm just going to keep it simple for the sake of this video. So once I'm on screen 1, I'll start setting up what things will look like for a home screen. So I'll drop a text area over there. I'll drop a button over here too because I need them to click something to get started. And I'll throw another text area because on this one, let me have this one become the title. So I'll click it. It's called text area 2. I'm not going to do anything with this, but I do like to keep the ID names as simple as possible, so I deleted the text. I'm just going to call it Area 2. Right here I'll type, welcome to the MLS/Liga MX Soccer Quiz app. Maybe I should change that to football. And I want the text to be bigger, so going down here, let's make the font bigger. Let's make it look a little bit more like a title instead of a paragraph. Okay, and I can change the background color too. And again, I'm just not good at this design stuff. Oh, I'm changing the word color. You can also change the word color. Here's a button. I can change a button color to whatever. And I can name the button whatever. I'm going to name it Click to Begin. But right here, the ID name will be button 1. And right here, I'll drop an image. And we can make this whatever image you want. For me, I'm going to choose my favorite team logo. Okay, so here's how you do the images. I just Googled the thing I wanted, so I could click Google Images here. And if I go back, there's an option right here to choose. So all I have to do is once I find the image I like, I'll right click, Save Image As. And I like to keep everything on my desktop. That way it's easy for me to throw it away later. So right here, I'll click Choose, Upload File, then go to Desktop, and then I'll click Choose one more time, and there you go, there's the picture. Okay, so now let's go to screen 2, and that'll be the first screen where they get to see a picture. And I'm not even going to make this a very textual app. It'll be very simple. Here's a picture, and then here's 2 buttons, and the 2 buttons will be 2 different soccer teams. And if a person clicks the wrong one, they'll be told they're wrong. If they pick the right one, they'll be told they're right. So let me click here. Oh, I have to go find a picture. And just to save time, what I did is I went and downloaded 2 more pictures. But I'll follow the same exact process where I save the picture to the desktop, then I'll click choose, so here it is. And now for the button, and I can make it bigger. You just design this as pretty as you'd like, but for me, I want to make a really short video for you so you can have more time to experiment. So right here I'll call this Rapids. That's the correct answer. Over here I'll call this Red Bulls, and I'm done with that screen. Let me jump to screen 3. So here we go with a picture of a Harrison alumni who played for a professional soccer team. I'll drag 2 buttons down. Okay, I'm just going fast here. So now let's jump to the code. So in the code, what I want to happen, starting on the home screen, when the person first gets their hands on my app, I want them to click this button, and what will happen is the game will begin. So they click the button, and they'll go to screen 2, where the first question is. So right here, button 1, and I'm typing button 1, because if I go here to the screen 1, to the right of my mouse is an ID, and it says button 1. If I still can't read that, I can go to design and click the button, and it'll say the ID name right there. So back to the code, when clicking button 1, I want to set the screen, that is go to the other screen here, and they're going to be taken to screen 2. So now I'll run it to test to make sure it works. I click the button and here I am. But now when I click these buttons, nothing happens. So I got to make something happen. Let me reset. I'll go to screen 2 so I can see the name, the ID. So we got button 2 there and button 3. So I'll go up to the top here, drag in 2 more event handlers, change the name to button 2 and button 3, and you can see a pattern here. It would have been smarter if I just copy and pasted it earlier, because right here I'm going to do the same thing where I set the screen, but instead of going to screen 2, well, if they click button 2, which is this one, that's the correct answer. So I should have them go to a screen 4 is blank. Okay, so I should have them go to a screen where it'll have a message for them. So let's say screen 4 is the win screen. I'll just type in win, or I should type in correct. And the text of the screen would just say, you got that right. Again, make it as pretty as you want. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And a lot of apps have a home screen and a next kind of screen. So I'll just drop those buttons here, rename them. This one will be next. So when they click the second button, they'll go to the correct screen. But if they pick the wrong button, where was I? Right here, if they pick the wrong button, which is 3, they're going to go to wrong. Did I name that my screen? It looks like I didn't change the name of the screens at all, so I got to jump back to design. I'll go to screen 4 where it says you got that right. Let me call that screen correct. And then I'll go to screen 5, was it? There we go. Screen 5 would be the screen for when you get it wrong. So when they click the retry, and that's called button 9, but see, things are getting so complicated. I want to just start calling my things the things they are, but using lowercase. So going back to screen 2 and going back to the code, I'm going to say that when they click the right one, they go to correct. When they click the wrong one, they're going to go to the wrong screen. All right, but now once they're on the wrong screen, remember, they need to be able to click the button to retry. So this is screen 2 we're on right now. If I go to wrong, the retry button is called retry. So I can go here, retry. So when they click retry, they're going to go to screen 2. There we go. So now let me test it. Run. When I click it, and I click the wrong one, it goes to the wrong thing, or the screen that says you clicked the wrong thing, and then you'll try again. Here you are, click the right one, you got it right. Now click home or next. Oh, okay, so there's more code for me to do. So I'll drag this down. If I'm going to go to the next question, that means I need to set this button is called, I'm hovering, but I can't see it. That's because I have to reset. Now I have to go to that screen. And so then I just repeat all these kinds of steps to just get as many screens and as much code as I can. So what do you do when you're all done? Let's pretend I'm all the way down to 100 lines of code. What I'm going to do here is set it to the home screen. I'm going to click run in just a moment. First, I have to go to a website called Screencast-O-Matic. You can find that by Googling it. Then I'm going to click start recording. What's going to happen is this website will download an extension here, and then you'll be able to click on it, and you'll launch the recorder. Okay, and then this will pop up. Then you'll get a countdown, and then the video is recording right now. So I'll go over here to my app. I'm going to make sure the lines, the code can be seen and the app can be seen, and then I'm going to click run. And all you have to do for your own video, you don't have to talk in this video, you just have to play your app. So try a couple different buttons on your app and move through it. If it's a 30-second video, that's all you need. Then I go over here and I'll stop the recording by clicking done. This screen pops up, so what I do is save file as. Again, I put everything on the desktop just to make it easy. So right here where it says folder, I'm going to click browse. So it'll be named Recording 4 on my desktop, and I'll click Publish, and this will take a while. Once it's done downloading to your desktop, it'll say Publish to video file, and you can just click Done right here. The last step for you to submit your final is you go to Canvas, and so here I am. You'll click the calendar, and here's the assignment. The beginning date is May 9th. So like I said, you'll have a whole week to get this done. And I still put in Flash Talk Fridays because those are the best. And the good news is you don't have to do any typing here. You could just click Reply. So here we are right here. It says Record Upload Media. And you don't want that movie screen one that's over here. So then I'm going to click Upload Media, select Video File. It'll take a second to upload, and there it is. You click Post Reply, and you are done. And you can spend some time clicking play and looking at everybody else's videos. And then the video is recording right now. And notice it was only 32 seconds right there. That's all you have to do. This is not a very complex final.